I think about coaching in my work, some of the qualities are that we need to be very aware and present and meet the client where they are. It's as if you're taking the client on a journey and there's an invitation to take that journey. And so as a coach, your patience and awareness and being present with the client really allows them to feel safe about going on that journey with you. So in a sense, you're looking at the horizon and developing goals and strategies and appropriate questions so that the client is really taken on that journey with you. And the invitation is a gentle invitation to invite them into their own awareness so that you help them develop intentional goals for a purpose-driven solution. And yes, coaching can be learned. The behaviors and qualities of being a good coach is definitely a learned quality. And it comes through practice and self-awareness and being very intentional with your clients. Well, the way I integrate emotional intelligence in the coaching process is by starting with a profile. I really enjoy talking to clients about the competencies that are embedded in our 6 seconds profile. And for me, that's a great way to start a conversation. There aren't many times in our lives that we sit down with people and talk about optimism and motivation and empathy and a purpose-driven life. And so embedded in our 6 seconds model, the SAY profile, those kinds of conversations get drawn to the surface. And that's what people like to talk about. They want to be heard. They want to talk about things that are deeper. So I find that emotional intelligence comes up in that way because emotions are fueling our every thoughts, our actions, and they're the key to understanding our drivers and our motivation. A coach is leading from behind. A coach is that guide on the side. A coach doesn't enter into a relationship with a client having answers. It is the coach's job to use powerful questions to elicit a response from a client that makes them think. My favorite question to ask a client is always one that makes them say, "Wow, I never thought of it that way." And then there's a pause, and then they start to explore the question. So that's a powerful question, when you can get somebody to really think and consider and search for an answer that is authentic to them. A mentor, often there's some teaching involved in a mentor at times. So I think the biggest difference between coach and mentor is the ability to step aside as coach and be that guide. And in a mentorship, there's often some teaching, some content, some processes that are led by the mentor. Well, authenticity is felt. It's a felt sense. When you're with somebody, you have a sense that they are being authentic. And I think that authenticity is important. When you're with a client, you're empathizing with them. And empathy can't be faked. It has to be truly felt. And I think it also builds the quality of a trusting relationship. That authenticity really sets the stage for trust. And for me, trust is the fulcrum of all the places that we go as client and coach. So authenticity, being able to empathize, and setting the foundation for trust in a powerful coaching-client relationship. And I believe that that really sets the starting point, is that it's that great conversation that I mentioned. And it's unusual in our day to have those kinds of conversations. Another really important piece of using a psychometric tool is it gives you a starting point. Here's where you are, and then the next piece is, where do you want to go? What is your goal? So it gives you that, here I am today, here's where I want to go, and then coach and client set the goals for moving forward into that goal. So then you have a measuring stick that you can look at 3 months down the road to see what the progress has been with your coaching relationship. I think as coach, the element of presence allows the client to feel enveloped in a trusting, safe relationship with a coach. Presence is a very elusive concept. It is something that's truly felt and communicated without words to the client. I feel that the role model of coach allows people to feel the values and the driving force in a presence-filled conversation. It's the analogy that I've used is presence is felt as if you were shining a light and the flower turns towards that light-giving nourishment. So as coach, I feel like we learn presence by being in the company of people that we admire or that we want to emulate. And when we're young, we look at that as, I want to grow up to be like that person. And as we get older, we look at people with the similar values, and we then learn to start to practice and live those values. And as we get older, we look at that same idea of presence in a way that shows us, these are my values, this is what I stand for, and that is who I am. And that piece of presence is something that I think clients can feel when you're with them. The essential difference, I think, is that you're meeting a client in an emotional place. You're meeting them in an emotional place and adding to that emotional stamina with them. You're developing skills that really approach that sense of awareness and the choices that they have to make. Emotions fuel every thought, feeling, and action that we have. That we are continually bombarded with feelings and resulting thoughts and choice of actions. And so I think when we can break that process down into a slower, more mindful way, then we're really using emotional intelligence as a basis of learning.